Let's talk about intentionally using pen angle and sort of 3 different ways we can do that with a design. So let's start with making one simple design. We're going to use the 48 gear and the 60 ring. And so the first thing you can do when doing a design is just go over it a second time with your pen, and it'll make it just feel a little bit bolder. These felts have a really strong line already, so it doesn't make much of an impact with these felts. But if you're using like a ballpoint pen, the difference will be hugely apparent. So make it bold by doing it twice. Next. So the next 2 are basically you're going to do the design once, and then you do it again with the pen at a different angle, either an absolute or relative. I'll show you what I mean in just a second, and I'm going to switch colors of pen just so you can see where the difference is, although you might do this with just one color of pen. So in this case, I'm going to keep the pen at a sharp angle. You can pick any angle you want. I'm sort of pointing towards the top, and that will, let's see. And I've made it a real sharp angle to make this apparent. And you know, angling the pen does try and make the gear come up more. A trick to help keep a gear down is just put a coin on it. That'll give it a little bit of extra weight. So I had a little slip here, you can see, but in general, I think this shows off that the angle, you can angle the pen to get this sort of consistent, well, not consistent shift down, but like you're shifting it down, and it sort of depends on the shape of the pen hole and the shape of the design, which bits are really extreme and which bits are like almost the same. All right, so that's one way, and you can play with angle a lot to make certain swoops bold. Like I went really hard here so the line is fully separate, but if you do it just like gently, just a few degrees, you can do it so it just makes part of the line bolder and swoopier. Third option is to try to angle the pen. Okay, so let's once again make our basic design. And now back to pink. And this time I'm going to try and keep it angled, but like relative to the gear. So it's always going to be pointing like out. This is a little bit harder to do because I got to remember to change out, pointing out. Nope, that's not what I said I was doing at all. Okay, what am I doing here? It's going like this, like that. There we go. I don't know why that first bit got so confused. Okay, so you can see if I keep the angle relative to like the gear, it makes each bit sort of symmetrically different. Like each of these is all the same. And so these are 3 simple techniques where you can use pen angle and repetition to impact your line shape and boldness. All right, let's just try one more with just one color and see if I can show you a slightly more subtle version of this. All right, just stick with blue here. Just gonna go into the 2 for a slightly different thing. Did it once, ta-da. If I just do it a little bit at the loops, and now it's made the whole line a little heavier, but the bits at the end of the loops feel a little bit weightier than the lines in the middle here. Again, because I'm using these felts that give like a really solid bold line, partially for the video quality, it's harder to see the difference. But if you're using something with a thinner line or lighter ink or a ballpoint pen that doesn't give you such a saturated solid line to start with, you could really play with this contrast very powerfully. I mean, you can with the felts also, you just have to go a bit harder on the angles. Yeah.